Hello everyone, I'm not Trev, and today we are reviewing Halloween Havoc 1995. And you know, I uh I enjoyed this pay-per-view. I thought that it could have been better. We had a lot of build up to the main event, and I really didn't know how they were going to pull off this monster truck thing on the roof. Ended up, it was on the building adjacent to the actual arena, and I believe it was just a parking lot, like a multi-story thing. So, like a parking garage. So, it is what it is, though. So, this whole pay-per-view was kind of built up to Hulk Hogan and the Giant facing each other for the first time, and it wasn't bad. This whole build-up's been a little odd with the Dungeon of Doom and their constant they're bringing Hogan down into the dark side, basically. And that's an interesting story. I think they were kind of trying to turn Hogan into kind of a heel at some point. And this is obviously pre NWO. This is it's very interesting how I think this kind of fell flat, and how the NWO angle didn't fall flat. So Hogan was doing things in previous episodes on Nitro where he was like calling Jimmy Hart he'd call him names. He was threatening the monster truck team that if he were to lose, what he was going to do to them. And it didn't seem right, and then slowly, episode by episode, Hogan would turn a little darker because he was just wearing black, and the next thing you know, he's all black. He's got the black neck brace and shirt and pants, and it was close. And I this is very much, to me, I think this is a Kevin Sullivan kind of thing. This is maybe his idea, and I have come to respect Kevin Sullivan, and I just don't think that he did it correctly here. I do like the kind of the spooky nature of some of the stuff that he's trying to pull off. The supernatural parts, they've really kind of threw kayfabe to the dirt, because no one believes that Kevin Sullivan's got a dad that's a big giant rock looking man, and the Yeti is a mummy, and it's ridiculous. I mean, every part of this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but the pay-per-view itself, it was a lot of fun. We're going to kind of go over it step by step. So, and we're going to go over all the matches, but we're going to do them in short order. This is not going to be a long video. So, we had Johnny B. Bad versus Diamond Dallas Page. This was for the WCW World Television Championship. Now, Johnny B. Bad, I really like him, and I only remember him as Mark Marrow from Raw, and so seeing him in this kind of a light, I like it. And so this match, it wasn't the longest, it wasn't the best, but it was a lot of fun. I think it was like 17 minutes, which is probably on par for one of the longest matches of the night. But it was also, I don't know, it was just kind of it fell short to me. But Johnny B. Bad was able to win that one. He picked up the World Television Championship. So the next match, Macho Man Randy Savage defeated the Zodiac. That was his in to later on face Lex Luger. Now, for them to have a match, I believe Lex Luger had to also win his match. So, in between, we had Kurasawa with Colonel Robert Parker, who defeated Road Warrior Hawk. Kurasawa super injured Hawk in this one. We had Sabu with the Sheik, they kept calling him the original Sheik. I don't know if then they called him the Sheik a few times, but I don't know if it was just because they weren't saying, the full name or what. I don't understand, but they kept saying the original Sheik, and that's cool. But Sabu, he defeated Mr. JL in pretty quick fashion. And what was kind of funny was when you watch the pay-per-view, the Sheik blows fire in the Mr. JL's face. And this is after the match. It's like, the match is already over. Why do you need to blow fire in anyone's face? But oh well. That match was like under 4 minutes. So definitely a quickie. The next one was probably the third or fourth, maybe, longest match of the night. It was about under 14 minutes. Lex fighting Meng. And he had the Taskmaster on his side. Now, this one was interesting because in order for Lex to go forward, Meng, he had to defeat Meng. Well, Meng, used the spike and was about to win the match, but then the Taskmaster ran in and he kicked Lex, which caused a disqualification, and it was a done deal. So at that point, it was kind of like, well, what's going on? It was kind of weird, kind of, not sure what's going on. How is this going forward? So Lex was not happy about that. They got interviewed a few times, and it was he had a towel around him, covering up where he got hit, I guess, with the spike. And so after that, we had Ric Flair and Sting going up against Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman. Now, Ric Flair was absent for most of this match. He had been disposed of earlier in the show by Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman. So when Flair finally gets to the ring, he's in pants. So he's not even there to wrestle. He didn't even put on trunks or anything like that. But he gets down there to the ring, and this match is painful. Okay, Sting just has to get a tag to Flair, and they really build this up because most of this match, which is 17 minutes long, is Sting trying to tag Flair. There is so long of just Sting reaching out, trying to get Flair, and Flair trying to get him, and when it finally does happen, and you think, oh, thank God, Flair's about to get in, Flair turns on Sting, and they just beat the snot out of him. So I guess, it's listed that Flair and Sting defeated Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman, but it was Ric Flair that did the turn. So I don't understand. So Flair kind of won that match. So that's kind of weird to even think of it that way. So anyways, after that, you got Flair, Arn, and Brian Pillman throwing up the Four Horsemen sign, leaving. They're all excited. So next match after that, we've got Macho Man Randy Savage and Lex Luger. Now this match is 5 minutes and 23 minutes. It's a weird one. It's very weird. So during this match, And I'm not sure what was supposed to happen, but during this match, we had Jimmy Hart get on the ring, and he's just talking to the referee. Jimmy Hart gets up there, referee just instantly, and starts talking to Jimmy Hart. Pays no attention to what's going on in the ring. Nothing. Well, at one point, it kind of looked like Luger was going to take advantage of this, but then Randy Savage ended up winning. He defeated Luger pretty outright. So, which I think kind of like weirdly muddied this ending, because the next match was going to be the giant Hulk Hogan. But, okay, to build this up correctly, I need to tell you guys about this monster truck thing. And I've got pictures down below here so you can follow along. So, okay, so we have Hulk Hogan and the Giant here in their respective monster trucks, okay? Sorry, my computer is messing up there. Okay, so they are actually in the center, right in the middle of the where they're the two monster trucks are meeting. They have been welded together. Okay, so they are pushing each other in this large ring, and the first one to push the other car, both axles, out of the ring wins. It's like a sumo match kind of thing. So it was interesting. It was a lot of literal back and forth. They would go so far and then so far and so far, and they talked about, you could see the there's water all over the place, and Hogan ends up winning, and they get in a fight on top of the arena. And this is kind of funny because the Giant, he just decides, I'm going to murder Hulk Hogan. So he gets him up there towards the side of the building there. Now, mind you, off this side of the building is a river. So if you fall out, you might be able to live, but you're 5 stories up. So I don't know. So that's up for debate. There's people that I've seen stuff about how they've jumped off of bridges and died because it was too high up. So this, I don't know. So Hogan and the Giant, they're fighting right on this edge. They get up on the edge, and Hogan does the whole, he breaks the arms and he falls over, and the Giant just goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. So he's falling backwards, and he gone. Hogan freaks out. He's just like, what happened? Get help, get help. So it's pretty crazy. So Bobby the Brain Heenan at this point is just freaking out because he wants to know what happened to the Giant. Well, we have the main event where the Giant shows up. He's perfectly fine. So he's I don't know, what would you call that? He's evil or super powered or whatever. I don't know. He's got the power of something on him. So he's ready to just do this. So the match goes on. Hogan removes his little bandana, and he's got the markings there that the Taskmaster has. And why? I don't know. This is Hogan doing stuff. So when he did it, what happened with the Giant? The Giant looked at him and was like, and he looked at the Taskmaster like, so who's in the ring? And the Taskmaster's pointing at Hogan. He's like, get him. And again, he looks at Hogan and he looks back. The Giant is either an idiot or what, I don't know. It's like Hogan took his hat off and the Giant didn't know who he was anymore. It was a little silly, but it's supposed to have some kind of semblance in the match, so we'll give it what it is. So this match wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty well put together match, I thought. Went about 17 minutes. And at this point here, the Giant's got Hogan up in the air. He's doing the choke slam. It was a pretty impressive choke slam. Then they hugged. There's a lot of hugging in this match. Hogan and the Giant are hugging. And then Hogan makes his comeback, and he's able to body slam the Giant. And it's very much Andre the Giant style. He gets him up, gets him down. The crowd goes freaking nuts. Although you see the Taskmaster down there, he is completely not impressed. So Hogan goes for the pin, and for some reason the referee is just out. Well, we all know why. Jimmy Hart turned on Hogan. So there we go. He's knocked the referee out, and as soon as Hogan turns his back on Hart hits Hogan upside the head with the title. But Hogan's already done his hulking up, so I mean, he's pretty much unbeatable at this point. And so he kind of like lays into Hart there. But here comes the Yeti. That is the strangest looking mummy Yeti I've ever seen. But he comes down, and he's... I gotta look more into who the Yeti is, because he's huge. He's bigger than the Giant. So that's pretty cool. So he gets in there in the ring, and they assault Hogan for a little bit there. You can see in the background, we got Lex over there stomping Macho Man, and it looks like Jimmy Hart's over there giving orders. What we've got going on there is Lex has joined alongside with Jimmy Hart, the bad guys there. So then they double hug Macho Man in a very odd way. And I'm gonna add, I thought about not telling this, but it's very odd. When the Yeti hugs people, he likes to like get in there and shake around. It looks very it's not a very good visual for somebody to be doing when they're hugging somebody from the back. It's not good at all. So Lex starts, he gets everybody up in the torture rack. The Giant does the whole Hogan pose, and he takes the title from Hogan. Now, answer me this, and let me know in the comments what you think. With this match, the Giant defeated Hulk Hogan by disqualification. But the title cannot change hands via disqualification. So Hogan's still the champion, although the Giant took the title. How does the Giant win this when everyone turned against Hogan? Hogan should have won this, in my mind. Why did Hogan not win? Okay. Unless the referee only saw, I guess, Macho Man attacking the Giant, and he missed everybody else in the ring beating the snot out of Hogan, I don't know what else to think. So I just don't understand how the Giant can win this. So anyways, overall, I give this pay-per-view, I'm gonna give it. We usually do rankings out of 10. This pay per view, it was fun, but it was silly. The match. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 5.5 out of 10. It wasn't the best. It wasn't terrible. It was about, an on par for something in between good pay-per-views, I guess. I never really thought the Halloween Havocs were that great. This one it wasn't bad. It was in Detroit at the Joe Louis Arena. They had a lot of people in attendance. I think they said around 13,000 people. So, and the next pay-per-view that we got coming up is World War III, which I think is a better pay-per-view. So maybe, they're just kind of, this storyline is going to go forward into World War III. But who knows? I enjoyed it. It just didn't have that great of a card, really. I think some of the best matches of the night would probably be, sadly, Johnny B. Bad versus Diamond Dallas Page. The Giant Hulk Hogan wasn't bad. Sabu and Mr. JL, for as short as it is, there's a lot of flipping in that one. So if you like the flippy dippies, that's a pretty good one. But yeah, not much else in this pay-per-view, except storyline-wise. I mean, the whole thing with the monster trucks and all that was interesting. That's the only reason I watched this pay-per-view. The only reason. I want to know how they pulled that off. So, tell me what you thought in the comments after watching this pay-per-view. What do you think? You think 5.5 is fair? I think it is. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching this. We are continuing our series of Monday Night Wars. We're moving on to the October 30th, 1995 edition of both Raw and Nitro. I'm actually pretty eager for this one because I've got my new overlay all set up for Halloween. As you guys can see, I've got Thomas's overlay set up for him. I didn't want to mess with it too much for this thing because we're going to reuse it. But anyways, thank you guys. And if you have any other pay-per-views that are outside of the Monday Night Wars that you want us to watch and rank, send us our way. We'll get to it. Now, if it's during the Monday Night Wars, I will tell you, it's a little bit iffy on if we'll do it or not, because I'm trying to, this isn't, I watched a lot of the Monday Night Wars whenever I was a kid, but this is kind of like watching it for the first time again, because it's kind of like, it's been so many years, it's 24 years to be exact. And so it's like rewatching it for the first time, and I don't want any spoilers. So as silly as that sounds, with both pro wrestling and the fact that it's a 24-year-old show, but I'm trying to, keep my reactions to everything as real as it can get. But anyways, thank you guys. If you want to see anything else, let me know. But I will see you guys next time.